Hello and welcome to Cosmos API. We present here a new set of technologies around LLM, web access, and files analysis in order to provide intelligent applications and to construct them in an easy way. We can access here the platform, and we will find a developer quick start where we can find the first block of code that we can use to perform our call. We will have all the details to use all the endpoints in API reference, where we will have the blocks, LLM, translate, files, web, and status. In status section, we will find a small check in order to ensure that we have a valid key and all the services are working. We will perform our first call, and it's as simple as you see. For all endpoints, we will have the option to call our dedicated client in Python by simply copying this block of code and using in a Python integrated terminal, or we can also perform JavaScript or core requests, as well as testing inside the platform. We have a basic LLM chat that allows us to interact with different models that are deployed in our servers in a seamless way, as well as some embedding and translation for different languages in two modalities. We can both work with text or we can also translate files. We will receive here the details of the request performed, so we will always have an ID of the request, a response ID, a status code, which will be 200 if everything was okay, and a descriptive message explaining the successful operation. In data section, we will find the details of the request that we perform. So for example, in this case, we perform a request which we will retrieve here. We can also test the web search. In order to analyze files, we work with index. Index are the set of documents that are going to be retrieved and analyzed together and processed through the different endpoints that we have. We will first create an index through the dedicated endpoint, and we will be able to add files to that index or remove them. Then we can ask questions on that file. We can always see the available index for our organization since they are shared across the organization, and we see that we have some indexes that has already been created. We can find the details of some of them. We could add or delete files, as well as rename the index if we want to change it. Now we can ask questions to the index. We select it here. We will retrieve a short answer, always referring to the files in the index, together with a reference of the file hash. We will have embedding index, which is a vectorizing operation that allows us to perform the retrieval, augmented generation in our files. If we select the same folder, it was vectorized, and now we can access and ask questions about it. In order to manage our files and indexes that we have, we can access list index and retrieve this ID that will be necessary in order to perform other operations. For example, if we want to find the details for this index, we will go to index details and we will provide all these endpoints are documented with a block of code that allows us All these endpoints are documented with blocks of code that allow us to run in Python code from JavaScript and curl, as we said, and there will be tutorials in this section. In documentation, we will find step by step how to build our first applications. Let's see the details on how to create a new Let's create a new account. When we want to work with documents, we use the index. Index are sets of documents that are going to be processed together and used in all the operations as a group of files. We will be able to create our index in create index, where we will provide the name of the index. For example, I'm going to work on a resume CV analysis. We have our index created. Now we can see the list of indexes that are available for our organization, and we will see our first index in the first place. This is the reference for the index that is going to be used in all requests whenever performing the request from outside the platform. For example, if you are using Python client or curl or JavaScript request, this will be the identifier of the index. We can retrieve all the details of our index in the index details endpoint. We will see the list of files that are linked to this index, the date of creation, and the storage that it takes. Now we can ask questions about this index. This message means that the contents of the index are not yet vectorized, meaning they are not available for RAG operations, and we will need to go to embed index and perform the operation. We switch to embed index and we select our index name or the UUID that we set, and we will perform the operation. The index was vectorized. Now we can ask our questions. And we will retrieve the answer. We will always find a reference of the file and page that provided the answer for the question. This is the reference to the file hash of the source that have been used in the answer. So for example, we find this information in the page 2 of first file contained in this index. We can filter here the files that we want to consider in the question. So that's it for the first use of index. Let's see how to create an account. We can go to sign up. We provide an email and password, and we will receive a confirmation mail. Once we confirm our email, we will create our account. And our team name. We can provide a promotion code if we have, or simply click Submit. Now we can access the dashboard and create our first key. We provide a name, and we can copy and use it. We will see here the details of consumption, as we said, and the storage. Here in billing section, we can subscribe and pay in order to make effective our subscription. Now you have full access to our API. It's your time to test.